Summit Wrath of the Mix stands to gather the most powerful Dragon Ball FighterZ competitors across multiple states for their shot to claim the title of New England's strongest. Competitor and content creator Floki had a simple vision: to create an event that highlights the incredible players scattered across the region by giving them a platform to demonstrate their skills, born from tireless hours of practice. Among those that have qualified for their shot at greatness, either through feats or reputation, are a pair of up-and-coming rivals from Connecticut and Massachusetts.
Last week's champion's out, so I'm starting to think maybe this is the week of Fish.
Connecticut's Kite taking first place here at Friday Night Fights once again, third week in a row.
These two competitors have traveled different paths that have set them on a collision course at Summit to finally settle the discussion of top rookie in New England. This is the story of Yunfish and Kite, two rising stars, and their fated clash at Summit Wrath of the Mix. Our journey begins in Massachusetts over a decade ago, as an elementary school age Brandon Raymond, aka Yunfish, finds himself in his living room as his uncles introduce him to one of their most beloved fighting games, Third Strike. Yunfish instantly found himself hooked as he continually tried over and over to no avail to best his uncles, but found himself loving every single second of it. This early exposure to fighting games would ultimately come to guide Yunfish, as he found that his love for the fighting games far outweighed his other passions. Time went on, and while the games would change, his passion never did. He would eventually transition into the world of online tournaments in his early teenage years with the release of MKX. While only finding modest results, his drive to compete was ignited. 100 miles away in Connecticut, Nate R. Kite, aka Kite for short, found himself in front of his GameCube enamored with Sakurai's latest creation, Super Smash Bros. Melee. This would start his fighting game journey. His competitive streak, however, wouldn't fully awaken until the release of Persona 4 Ultimax, which served to be his first formal attempt to master a game. While he never competed, this set him up for the release of Injustice 2, where he began competing in his local FGC scene in Connecticut, though did so sparingly. But it was at this point Kite knew he wanted something more from fighting games. January 26, 2018 would mark the launch of an ambitious title from Bandai Namco and Arxis that would serve to give one of the largest franchises in the world a full-fledged fighting game, Dragon Ball FighterZ. The game took the FGC by storm with its beautiful art style and iconic IP brought to life. Dragon Ball FighterZ would go on to surpass even Street Fighter V in EVO entrance during its launch year, the first time a game had managed to do so in years. Yunfish and Kite had both been waiting for a title to become full-fledged FGC competitors, and this was the one where they decided to embark on that journey. Yunfish excitedly dove headfirst into Dragon Ball FighterZ Season 1, running a team composed of Beerus, Gotenks, and Tien. Though he quickly pushed these characters to the side, opting instead to focus on maining his favorite Dragon Ball character, Namekian, and Gohan's real father, Piccolo. His secondary slot was composed of a revolving cast of characters such as Cell and Gotenks. He cycled through many different anchor characters over the course of Season 1, with two of the most prominent being SSJ Goku and Yamcha, both brought on to provide much needed assist coverage in neutral. Yunfish's aggressive, reset-heavy playstyle granted him early success in the scene. This did wonders for his confidence as he quickly felt within striking distance of the top players within his region. Unfortunately, this streak would come to an end, and what followed for Yunfish was several months of losses, team swaps, and general doubt over his future in the game, as he began to question everything he had accomplished up until this point. Through self-reflection and acknowledging the mental component of his game, Yunfish managed to return to form just as Season 2 was rolling around. Suddenly, after tightening up his mental game, he found placements were pouring in while competing at balance patch events in Massachusetts, finishing top 3 week in and week out. Yunfish's local success ultimately gave him the confidence to begin traveling to compete. With this, he set his sights on the Dragon Ball World Tour, starting with its debut Tenkaichi event, CEO. While there, he carved a path through winner's bracket in his pool, up until he found himself paired against the defensive titan of Dragon Ball, Goichi. Yunfish would manage to box with the incredible titan, though would ultimately fall. However, managed to leave a lasting impression on the members of his community. His loser's run at CEO would ultimately be ended by the touch of death machine Random Fiend, granting Yunfish a 33rd place finish at an event stacked with some of the best talent in the world. In the wake of CEO, Yunfish redoubled his efforts, and with the release of his favorite Dragon Ball villain, Janemba, he has only grown stronger, taking down the last Massachusetts Monthly in commanding fashion. The hot streak he is currently on has him as one of the favorites going into Summit, though Kite intends to put an end to this streak. 2019 has been the year of Kite's reign as a powerhouse in New England Dragon Ball fighters, though his career wasn't always so flashy. On launch, he ran a team composed of Adult Gohan, Frieza, and Trunks. Though shortly into the beginning of the season, Kite found himself drawn to the original character, Android 21, and following his trend of mating female characters, picked her up. His supporting lineup for her consisted of SSJ Vegeta on anchor for neutral pressure, and a smattering of other support characters such as Cell, Adult Gohan, and Bardock to help back her up. After settling on a tentative team, Kite quickly began to grind net play, just as he had done with Injustice 2. He climbed leaderboards while simultaneously entering every online tournament he could find. His presence online would make him a common sight in numerous streams, as Kite was always competing. Players took note, and he became a regular for net play matches for many streamers. With rapid improvement of his trademark 21, online became a stepping stone in Kite's mind. He wanted to take his skills to land. Unfortunately, he quickly realized that CT didn't have a local scene he could compete in for the game he loved. Without this, there was no other options. Net play was all that was left, and so he dedicated hours online to perfecting his craft and honing his skills. Kite was continually driven by his desire to fight stronger and stronger opponents. He lived for heart-pounding last-hit situations, and he would do whatever it took to take his game to the next level, even as an online warrior. He remained on this grind until Season 2 of Dragon Ball FighterZ rolled around. When the Nemesis fighting game local began at Great Value Smash in CT, Kite finally had his chance to show his skills on land, and he seized it. He quickly became a dominant figure in Connecticut almost immediately, managing to place at least top 3 in every single tournament he competed in, while finishing first in more than half the events. He even managed to take down the New England powerhouse Floki, a feat previously unheard of in the region. Kite wasn't content with his dominance in CT and began regularly traveling to Massachusetts to compete as well. Here he found more resistance, though still managed to take first in over half the events at Balance Patch from May through August, including their July monthly. It was here that he clashed with Yunfish for the first time. Both players traded bracket wins back and forth for 5 straight weeks. Yunfish came out ahead, taking 3 matches to Kite's 2, while also prevailing in their last encounter. their matches have quickly become some of the most hotly anticipated bracket matches in the region. Kite has grown to the point he is often in discussion for best player in the region, and is one of 2 players in the discussion for best rookie, with the other being Yunfish. Yunfish and Kite represent the pinnacle of Dragon Ball fighters in New England, with both having grown dramatically from humble origins. Though they respect one another as competitors, neither one is prepared to back down. Both have grinded relentlessly for Summit. And here, their rivalry comes to a head. Finally, the discussion of best rookie in the region will be settled. There is one spot at the top of the Summit, and 2 challengers with the heart and dedication to seize it. Find out which one it will be at Summit Wrath of the Mix.